Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have a new, well not today, yesterday, we got a new update for Stronghold Warlords version 1.1. It's a big update, it's almost 1 gigabyte, and we're going to see what it changes, if we see any changes to the pathing. Overall, there's a lot of stuff, we're going to read it over, this is my first time looking at it, and we're going to see if it's time for me to get back to the actual campaign, because I took a little break. I was getting very frustrated with the AI, very frustrated. It was just dragging on each single campaign mission like an extra 20 minutes because the AI decided to just either not attack or do this or do that. But yeah, I am going to go back to the campaign. I am going to try some more maps, and we're going to finish that up after this, and hopefully I see some changes here as well. But without further ado, I'm going to link this down below, and let's check it out. So first we have updates. And then we have general fixes, balance changes, warlords, AI improvements, town, strategy. Okay, that's all under AI improvements. Map editor, and then notes. Okay. So I'm not going to read every single change. I might skim through some other changes, but we're going to see if we can find all the big ones, right? So first, they added extreme difficulties to both skirmish and campaign modes. Note, extreme difficulty in skirmish will give the AI an unfair gold advantage. Okay, so they made it even harder. So the AI is very easy. I might play it on hard now and see if it's still easy, but okay, cool. So if people want a bigger challenge, okay, that's cool. Next, we have this total troop limit in skirmish and multiplayer is increased. Example, troop limit in a 2-player game is increased from 200 to 300. Okay, you can have more troops on the map. Cool. Then we have added 2 new large keeps, the Mongol Yort and Tribal. Interesting. 2 new large keeps. Okay, cool. Some new buildings. That's cool, cool. Then we have selecting alternative skins for player lord models will also change their keep type, quality of life, visual change, updated Japanese voice lines for barrack troops, quality of life change, add diplomacy points to overall resource setting in skirmish lobbies. I haven't played much skirmish, I'll be honest with you, so I guess this is good, more information. Then we have motion blur can now be disabled / enabled via settings stored in the options XML. Default is for it to be enabled. Okay, cool. So you can turn off motion blur. That's good. It sucks that it's not actually in the menu. You have to actually go into the file and do it. But okay, it's a start. Then we have the minimap can now be configured to rotate / face north and scale to fit inside its box by default via new settings in the options.xml. Okay, so we're getting a lot of new stuff that we can change, but is it in a file? Is the .xml, is that a file, or is that just how they set it and it's still in the options? We're gonna have to go see. And then lastly, we have added a new 2-player skirmish map, River Bend. Expect a tense push in battle as both players, vie for control of the warlords guarding the path to their opponent's castle. Okay, cool. More maps. I think a lot more maps are needed. I think a lot of people complained that there was a very lackluster. I can't even say that word. A very small map pool. That's the best way I could say. I can't even say the other thing. It is what it is. But yeah, people have complained that it needs more maps. So good to see more maps are being added. We have general fixes. Fix for save crashing. Okay. Fix defending our lands from Genghis Khan. Campaign so it correctly shows the build menu. Oh. So some of these campaigns were just harder because some stuff wasn't there. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Maybe that's why I was kind of raging in some of them. Okay. So, that campaign didn't have the right build menu. Now it does, so it's going to be a lot easier. Fix for pathfinding obstacles sometimes not clearing after walls are destroyed. Good pathing upgrades. Cool. Then we have change ruins of Heart of an Empire and fortunes in the economic campaign to fix blocked mission progress. Cool, nice, very good job. Yes. We got some good mission changes. Fix for triangle wall pieces sometimes lingering around after adjacent square pieces have been destroyed. Okay. Triangular wall pieces are now broken down more consistently to match the damage level of adjacent square walls. Okay, wall fixes. Lord portraits. Okay, that's cosmetic. Increase fade distance of buildings on fire. Okay, that's again visual. Updated popularity report formatting to accommodate longer localization text. Okay, that helps people understand more. Overhauled the Ninja pathfinding system to handle many map and building layouts that could not previously be navigated. Okay, more pathfinding. Good, good, good. Fix an issue that could cause groups of Mongolian horsemen to jostle back and forth after moving to a position. Good. Fixes for a number of cases where troops get stuck, especially in gates, and not being able to move. Good again. Ballistas can no longer attempt to attack defensive stone buildings. Okay. What else do we have? Fix an issue where troops would get stuck repeatedly, failing to attack warlord workers in melee. Good. A lot of stuff that... Good, good, good. Then we have fix an issue where actors could hover briefly before landing during their knockback animations. Fix an issue where actors could get stuck just at the edge of the unpathable terrain after being knocked back. Troops in rabble formation are more reliable at moving at target enemy units on rooftops. Cool. Hopefully, I haven't seen it yet, but hopefully they fix the problem where if you make your units attack or you right click on some enemy units, if the enemy units are especially horsemen and they kind of go too far out of the range, all of a sudden your units forget that they are chasing somebody down and they just stand there. You know what I mean? That is the worst thing, because guess what? If you quickly want to pan back to your economy and then you pan back to the army, what you realize is your army got split up like 7 times. The enemy pretty much took out the small number of troops actually considered to, like let's say you have 100 army, right? The enemy has 20 horse archers, right? So you would right click on them and they would go attack those horse archers. The horse archers would run away, and as they start running away, 20 of your troops just stop attacking. Then like 10 seconds later, 20 more stop attacking. Then 10 seconds later, 20 more stop attacking, because the horse archers keep running farther away and the troops just give up or something. And what happens is you look back and all of a sudden the horse archers are still alive. A small portion of your army is dead and you have to try it again, and the same thing keeps happening, and all of a sudden you lose so much more army because your troops decide to just not continue attacking the enemy. So hopefully that is changed somewhere, because that is very frustrating. And again, it makes it so a lot of the campaign missions go on for so much longer, because I need like my army to be 3, 4, not even 3, 4, like 10, 20 times bigger than the enemy force, just to, mitigate the AI issues, which is kind of annoying. Next we have balance changes. So we have halved warrior monk area attack damage to 500, double cooldown time to 60 seconds, big nerf. Adjusted the way splash damage is applied to walls from siege projectiles to make overall damage more consistent against diagonal and non-diagonal walls. So I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit nerfed there as well. Now we have Warlord Changes. Repair and upgrade castle effects can no longer be used when the enemy is very close to the castle. Okay. If triggered before the enemy approaches, they will still finish if the enemy comes into range during the edict. Okay. So you can't just repair and upgrade the castle when they are during an attack, which makes sense. Then we have Warlord Shipments can now only display messages on their first and last shipment, in which they report the current/total goods sent. Cool. More information. You get to actually see, how much is actually sent. Then we have added an icon to the diplomacy map on ongoing instant attacks. Okay, cool. So you get to see, if you go in diplomacy map, you get to see what warlords are getting attacked currently and stuff. Okay. Next, it was AI improvements. Okay, this is what I'm here for, baby. All right. So first we have is general. AI lords can now use their own respective keeps in skirmish games. Okay, added several new overlord taunts. Okay, cool. That's kind of minor. Alrighty. Then we have town. Many improvements to AI town building, including smarter positioning of different building types. Fixes for several cases where the building layout could result in stuck workers. Increase maximum distance that buildings can be placed from the keep. Okay, this wasn't that big of a problem, but it's good that it's getting more improvements to it. Another thing that we need, that I just thought about, The whole concept of fires breaking out and you having those guys who run with the buckets. Hopefully they changed it so it doesn't just pick a random guy. Um, let's say you have a really big map full of buildings, and you have five. I forgot what those are called, like water. I'm gonna call them water pots, whatever, right? You have five of those water pots, nicely positioned around where the buildings are. What happens is all the way on the east side of your kingdom, something sets ablaze, and for some reason you have like two, water pots, whatever, right next to that could easily go there and quickly take out that fire. But what happens for some reason is they choose the guy all the way on the west side of the map to run all the way over there, wasting so much time to take out that fire. I think that needs to be changed ASAP. Alright, next item is improve granary placement to be more central inside the castle, making it better protected from attacks. Okay. Fix several issues with turrets and engine platforms not attaching to walls correctly. That's good. I had some problems with that as well. The AI is better at calculating how many of each type of work building it needs to build its economy and train an army. Okay, so better AI. Fixed, like better AI economy stuff. That's cool. Fixed a bug that could get the AI stuck trying to build an embassy when it already had the max amount allowed. Okay, so overall, just stuff that's going to help the AI in skirmish maps, which is good. Strategy. The AI now takes the number of players on their team into account when choosing whether to target an enemy player or warlord, allowing them to prioritize enemy players early in free-for-all games. Cool. So this is mostly skirmish stuff. Okay. Then we have the AI is now more likely to target the warlord closest to them than other warlords. Makes sense. You get the ones that are closer. The AI no longer attempts to influence lords on easy difficulty. Okay, so they do it in the higher difficulties, not the easy one. And then he says, and then another one, there's now a minimum time before the AI will attack any target, which varies by difficulty. Okay, a little peace treaty time. Then we have harder AIs are now better at picking warlord edicts and issue them more often. Okay. When at very high gold values, the AI will now aim to triple its normal popularity to get peasants spawning faster. Cool. So overall, again, just a lot of AI changes that makes it better in like skirmish and stuff of that nature. I still have not seen my changes, man. Getting kind of worried. Then we have defensive troops, turrets, and engine platforms are now positioned more intelligently. Okay. Fix an issue that could cause castles not to build when spawn points are rotated. Okay, again, this is all AI. Fix for defensive troops on Genghis castle walls, sometimes getting stuck. Okay, tweak the tower positions. Defensive troops now spend less time running back and forth between different positions on the wall. On easy difficulty, the AI will now only build a single layer of castle walls. Cool. So a lot of these changes you're not really going to see in your gameplays. It's going to be mostly kind of, the AI working on their own stuff and hopefully becoming better and not being so easy to defeat, which is cool. There's a space for that, definitely. Now onto armies. The AIs are now more willing to buy weapons to train troops when needed to preserve the desired unit composition of their army. So they're going to have more armies now. Okay. Improve the balance of barracks and academy troops that the AI will train whether or not they have weapons available. Cool. Fewer troops are now kept in reserve, allowing the AI to attack faster with larger numbers when they up their troop limit. So they're going to be constantly pumping out units and, actually using them. Okay. Improve the distribution of different troop types. They're going to have a variety now. After capturing a warlord, armies will now sometimes guard the warlord for a short period of time before moving to attack a new target. Okay, so they'll be more smarter with that. Cool. Armies that encounter an enemy keep en route to their target will now switch targets rather than continuing to their original target. Okay, so they're not just going to get attacked as they're moving through. They're actually going to, be smart about it and attack them first. Then we have armies are better at navigating through allied estates to reach their targets. Okay, fixes for several cases where armies can get stuck while moving. Okay, the AI will now more reliably start attacking with siege armies based on the number of attacks already made and their own economic development. Okay, so they're not just going to attack mindlessly without siege. If you have a lot of walls built and stuff, they will build siege and try to break that down. Makes sense. It says armies are better at tracking enemy lords that have moved away from their keeps. Fix an issue that could stop attacks from being launched. Okay, fix several issues with placement. Improve the AI ability to coincide warlord attacks. Okay, with their own. Expensive troops such as generals and samurais are no longer held back to guard siege weapons. Okay, so they're going to actually go on the offensive. Then we have fire oxen and rocket launchers no longer target warlord town buildings. Okay, they won't be used for that and pretty much wasted. Then we have armies made up of horse archers and other cavalry now have a strong preference to tail other enemies when they can, given they tend to be ineffective against enemy warlords by themselves. Okay. Then, if individual troops in an AI army are unable to join the rest of the army for too long, they'll now suicide in order to avoid the whole army getting stuck. Interesting. What in the world? They said, I'm out of here. Okay, I guess. Then we have improved AI handling of rocket launchers to avoid firing in areas they may set the ground on fire under their own troops. And then Genghis now sieges with more mortars and fewer rocket launchers. Rocket launchers are pretty trash. I'm going to keep it a stack with you. That's that one-shot siege. I don't like it. Personally, I don't like it. But, you know, I don't know how other people feel about it. Again, I didn't see the stuff that I really wanted to see, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. But maybe it was fixed and it just wasn't stated in the way that I want it to be stated. But we're going to have to go see. Onto map editor, they added support to WASD/arrow key camera movements with control for faster movement. Okay. I haven't even tried the map editor, to be honest with you. The camera can now pitch closer to 0/90 degrees for easier editing, increase the render distance. Spawn points now move up and down if the landscape tool is used underneath them. Cool. Quality of life for map editors. Love to see it. The notes, we have set the achievement. Okay, so some achievements. Doesn't really matter about that. While we have fixed the issue that was corrupted saves, old save games that were previously crashed on load will still crash. Saves made in newly stated missions are fixed. Okay, so if you have some corrupted saves, unfortunately they're still going to be corrupted, but if you start one after this patch, you should be good. Alrighty. Again, we're going to have to see how this all plays. You know, I didn't see really the changes I wanted to see in terms of like units stopping, you know, stop attacking their targets, which is kind of annoying. And also the whole, you know, the water guys just not going how they're supposed to. But we'll see how this plays. I'm going to do the campaign probably a little bit later today or tomorrow. And yeah, see how all these changes are impacted. Let me know what you guys think. Ask me any questions and concerns. And like always, stay safe.